The fighting type is among the best and hard-hitting types in all of Pokémon. And in Lumiose City, you can find 11 fighting type Pokémon, including one you can get right at the start of a playthrough. And there are 2 Pokémon that aren't fighting types naturally, but gain the fighting typing once they undergo Mega Evolution. That's the challenge that awaits me as I try to beat Pokémon Legends ZA using only fighting types. This is Sir J.K. Gardelade, welcoming you to my second monotype run for fun in Pokémon Legends ZA. Here are all the rules I've set for this run, so without any further delay, let's get ready to rumble! I begin this journey as the male avatar, as I take in the sights of Lumiose City, the largest city and the capital of the Kalos region. And as I gaze upon the beauty of Prison Tower, it's when I encounter my rival for the run, Tawny, who was looking for a tourist to help advertise Hotel Z in a new promo video. And after a long-winded conversation, my bag got sideswiped by a Pancham, a Pokemon I have to catch later on considering it is a fighting type. After stopping at a dead end and confronted by 2 trainers that seemingly owned Pancham, I now have the privilege of choosing one of 3 starter Pokemon, and the obvious choice is going with the fire starter Tepig, which gains the fighting typing once it evolves into its middle stage. The most intriguing dilemma I'm faced with for this run is that there are no fighting type Pokemon available during the long tutorial. But for now, Tepig claims its first victory in Kalos, and I get my travel bag back. The 3 starter Pokemon you choose from in Pokémon Legends ZA are guaranteed to have 3 best individual values, so I'm pretty sure Tepig is going to be my ace for this entire run. After a turbulent first day in Lumiose, I made it safely to Hotel Z with Tawny's help. She made me a card-carrying member of Team MZ, gave me a brand new wardrobe, and introduced me to 2 new allies in Lita and Naveen. Before my true initiation into the group, Tawny challenged me to our first Pokemon battle against each other, as Tepig goes up against the 2 starters you didn't pick in Chikorita and Totodile. Good fortune immediately smiled on Tepig in its very first fight, as its first number attacks against both Chikorita and Totodile caused burn status, enabling for Tepig to score another quick victory in soloing a 1v2. And after defeating Tawny, she immediately helped me join the ZA Royale. My first official mission in the ZA Royale is to increase my rank from Z to Y. And my first opponent in the Royale is taxi driver Zach. But in order to challenge him, I needed to earn a challenger's ticket by competing in the ZA Royale. It was just Tepig and I, pummeling 3 trainers into submission, earning my first challenger's ticket. In order for this to be a true fighting-only run for me, I had to level Tepig up all the way to 17 so that it gains the fighting typing and becomes a fire-fighting menace in Pignite. And upon evolution, Pignite learns the broken fighting physical attack that made its return in Generation 9 after being absent in Generation 8, Power-Up Punch, that gives the user an immediate attack boost whenever it lands on an opposing Pokemon. But it's a move I will not be relying on against Zach, as I did a bunch of research tasks for Professor Mabel to get a bunch of TMs, including the TM for Protect, which I used to shield Pignite from a super effective water gun before disposing of Zach's first Pokemon Slowpoke, which went down to the rollout attack, which is the same move I used against the Pokemon Zach brought out next in Pidgey after protecting again to avoid being hit by a super effective Gust attack. Another TM that I made sure I acquired before this battle was the move that I used to one-shot Pikachu in Fire Punch. Zach falls for the unprecedented 100th consecutive time, and my rank increases 1 level up to Y. But Tepig won't solo the entire game like this, as it's time to recruit more fighters. My fighting army is about to get even stronger now that the game opens up. And the first Pokemon I caught, once I visited Wild Zone 2 for the first time, was a Binacle, a rock and water type. But that catch will make sense further on down the line. After catching Bionicle, I headed towards Wild Zone 3, where I encountered for the first time in the run Ivor from the Fist of Justice, the man who thinks he's the best fighting-type Pokemon user in all of Lumiose City. After beating his 5th disciple with ease, thanks to Tawny not being able to keep her big mouth shut, the Fist of Justice take their leave for now. I then encountered Detective Emma at the Looker Bureau, where she gave me 3 side missions to start off. The most important one of those 3 is by trading with an NPC, a Pikachu that I caught in Wild Zone 3, to get my next fighting type. Let's hear it for boys, the Heracross. And because it's a traded Pokemon, I'm not able to change its nickname. But it's the perfect nickname for this bug and fighting type, an absolute powerhouse to get this early in the game. I returned to Wild Zone 6 to catch another Pokemon that's not a fighting type yet in Canari. I made sure my first visit to the Magenta District was an impactful one, having Pignite burn brambles blocking my path in order that I may be able to catch another one of my favorites, a male Ralts. And not far away from where I caught that Ralts, I managed to get the TM for Brick Break. And then once I climbed up a ladder, I managed to find my all-time favorite fighting type, especially its final evolution, the lovable Riolu. And once Heracross weakened Riolu, I zoned in for the capture, and thank goodness my very first Luxury Ball did the trick. This Riolu came with a special defense boosting nature that also lowered Riolu's speed, which makes this a sassy Riolu that loves to relax. After doing a bit of scaffolding, I managed to find an early game Dawnstone. My recruiting mission was not over just yet, as I returned to Wild Zone 3 to catch a Pancham. And once that was done, I decided to have some downtime with my Pokemon, starting with Riolu at a cafe area near Hotel Z. After having 5 straight servings of Rosary tea, Riolu was finally able to evolve. I now have a fully evolved Lucario, and as usual, I nicknamed Lucario the Rock. Then after a little more R&R with Canari, that was the requirement necessary for Canari to gain high enough friendship to evolve into Lopunny. After nicknaming this female Lopunny Roxanne Perez, I headed up a rooftop near a shopping arcade to catch my next fighting type, Scraggy, which is also a dark type, giving me a Pokemon that's immune to psychic types. And speaking of psychic types, I found one in Wild Zone 6, which also just so happens to be a fighting type in Metatite. Ralts is a psychic and fairy dual typing, and it remains that way at level 20 when it evolves into Kirlia. But because this Kirlia is a male, it can shut off the fairy type status by slapping a Dawnstone on it, as it's now a fully evolved Gallade. And just like that, I now have 9 of the 13 viable fighting type encounters for this run. After handling all 3 of Emma's side missions, I got another announcement on my ZA Royale app that my next promotion match is awaiting, so I hurriedly collected my next Challenger's ticket, then made it over to face off against the optimistic office worker Yvonne, who apparently loves to run in marathons. But I am about to run circles on her team of 3 Pokemon, even though they all have a type that are super effective against fighting types. Yvonne has a team of 2 fairy types, and her ace being a bug flying type that quad resists fighting type attacks. However, I have a Pokemon like Lucario that has the secondary steel typing that resists all 3 of those types. It completely trivializes the whole fight, especially after immediately eradicating Yvonne's first Pokemon, Spritzy, with the combination of Poison Jab and Bullet Punch. I could easily sweep this fight with Lucario, no problem, but I wanted to give Metatite a shot as it followed the same pattern Lucario laid out in taking out Yvonne's second Pokemon, Swirlix. Another thing I love the most about fighting types is that the majority of them can learn all 3 elemental punches. I taught them all to Gallade, considering they're super effective against Vivian, and Gallade used Thunder Punch for the final KO, securing me another relatively easy promotion match victory, as I now increase my rank to rank X. My grind continues as I now aim to catch 2 of the strongest fighters around. After defeating Vinnie, my fellow Team MZ member, in a battle that Lita duped him into having, my next promotion match announcement was that I was about to face a grade schooler named Zavi. But before challenging him, I went out and caught 2 more Pokemon that gained the fighting typing eventually, starting with the Kalos region grass starter Chespin, who apparently thinks it's too good to battle other Pokemon, so it's decided to challenge the taxi cab. So at the request of the taxi driver, I enlisted the services of Heracross to knock some sense into that Chespin, knocking it out 3 straight times by firing off pin missiles. Then Chespin agreed to join my team, as it's guaranteed to have 3 best IVs, and it's also a female with the defense boosting special attack lowering impish nature, which is a great nature for Chespin's final stage, Chestnut. But there's another fighting type that I could catch on the roof that is another one of my all-time favorites and a native of the Kalos region, the fighting and flying type Hawlucha. And just like with Riolo, I caught this Hawlucha on my very first Luxury Ball attempt. Unfortunately, the bad luck of natures continues as I caught this Hawlucha with the special attack boosting, defense lowering, mild nature. But I'm more than happy to add a Pokemon that I once soloed the entire base game of Pokemon Violet with. I also evolved Chespin into its middle stage, Quilladin. I now have caught 11 of the 13 viable encounters for the entire run. After claiming another Challenger's ticket, I went over to an academy nearby one of the wild zones to square off against Zavi. In my monotype run rules in Legend ZA, I can only carry with me the same number of Pokemon my opponent has for a promotion match, and Zavi is the first one in the base game that has a team of 4, starting with his first Pokemon, the bug and poison type Venipede, who stood no chance of even being in the same zip code as Pignite, who immediately 2-shots Venipede with the combination of Rollout and Fire Punch. Kadabra, the Psychic type, comes out second, so I had to swap out into another Pokemon that's weak to Psychic in Heracross. After taking the super effective Confusion, Kadabra's Reflect is completely irrelevant as it goes down to Heracross's Pin Missile. I then brought Lucario in to go up against Zavi's third Pokemon, Roselia, with Kadabra's Reflect still up. I had Lucario attack from the special side to get the KO with Flash Cannon after getting up close with Bullet Punch. For the final confrontation, I brought Gallade in to go up against Zavi's ace Pokemon, Furfrou. At this stage of the run, Gallade already knows Sacred Sword, but I forgot to put that fighting physical attack in its moveset. But it didn't matter here, as I used all 3 elemental punches before Furfrou gets knocked out by a match-closing Ice Punch. My fearsome fighters once again show how superior they can be when they're on top of their game, as I rise up to rank W. Might as well keep striking while the iron is hot. After defeating Lita and yet another fun matchup against a Team MZ comrade, my next announcement on the ZA Royale app that my next promotion match is against Rintaro from Restaurant Lena. Not wanting to waste any time, I secured another Challenger's ticket, then headed over to the restaurant to face off against the head waiter. Rintaro packs a team of 3 elemental monkeys from the Unova region, so I decided to bring out my own 3 fighters that had yet to see action in the promotion match, and the first one I brought out is Hawlucha, which I nicknamed after one of my favorite professional wrestlers in the WWE, Stephanie Vaquer. Now you know what my nicknaming theme is, as Hawlucha scores the KO on the grass elemental monkey Simisage with a combination of Poison Jab and Brick Break. Making its battle debut next for me is Pancham, which I nicknamed after Jade Cargill, to go up against the water elemental monkey Simipour, who proved to be one tough customer, but Pancham was able to tough it out and secure the knockout by unleashing a flurry of attacks being Shadow Claw, Thunder Punch, and Brick Break, using a second Shadow Claw for the KO. And the last Pokemon for Rintaro is the Fire Elemental Monkey Semi-Seer. Doing even more research tasks for Professor Mabel allowed for me to get 2 TMs of Rock-type attacks, with the first one being Rock Tomb, which I had Scraggy use to lower the speed of Semi-Seer before it eventually was done in by a Rock Slide. Make it 4 straight promotion match victories by using a flurry of fearsome fighters, as my rank gets one more increase up to rank V. And now this run is about to get a whole lot more interesting. The sun already went down the moment I left Restaurant Lena as I got a call from Detective Emma as I was confronted by the 10% form of the legendary Zygarde, who led me to a rooftop where he threw me on top of to show me that there's a Pokemon on the rooftop that is suffering from potential rogue mega evolution energy. That's when AZ stepped in and brought along his own Lucario, lending me a Mega Ring, which gives me the opportunity to Mega Evolve at will, even though I don't have any Mega Stones yet. I used AZ's Lucario to be the one to assist me in pacifying Rogue Mega Absol. By defeating Absol and calming it down, I get its Mega Stone, which is exactly what I'm looking for in the form of 2 more Rogue Mega Evolution battles that I will encounter in this run. I traveled with Tawny to Quasartico Incorporated, where we met up with the secretary Vinnie, who ends up being our next promotion match opponent. After winning your first 4 promotion matches, that unlocks Wild Zone 7 and Wild Zone 8, the latter of which is where I found my 12th fighting type encounter for the run, Machop. And while it was still nighttime, I racked up more victories in the ZA Royale to claim my next Challenger's ticket. Once morning came, Tanya and I returned to Quasartico Inc. to have our scheduled promotion match against Vinnie, who's the first trainer in the base game of Pokemon Legends ZA that has a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve as their ace Pokemon. Unfortunately for Vinnie, all 4 of his Pokemon are weak to fighting type attacks, including his dangerous lead Pokemon, the Dark and Fire type from Johto, Houndoom. I showed how tough Lucario is by recklessly staying in Houndoom's super effective Fire Spin, defeating Houndoom with the combination of Aura Sphere and Rock Smash before leaving the Fire Spin trap with just 2 HP, immediately swapping out, knowing that an Aqua Jet was incoming from the second Pokemon of Vinnie, Sharpedo, who then got knocked out by Heracross's bevy of pin missiles. I still don't get why Vinnie added a recently caught Baneri to his team. It tried to put up some resistance against Scraggy with a super effective Draining Kiss, but eventually was worn down and knocked out by the combination of Scraggy's Brick Break, Power Up Punch, and Rock Slide. Vinnie is now left with just his ace Pokemon, Drampa, a normal and dragon type from the Alola region that gets a brand new Mega Evolution. So I swapped in Gallade, this time having Sacred Sword in its moveset, using that as its opening attack as Drampa set up Safeguard. Ice Punch struck for super effective damage before Gallade used Fire Punch to get the KO and the victory for my fearsome fighters. And thanks to the victory over Vinnie, my rank is about to rise up 15 levels all the way to F. The obedience cap also rises up from 40 to 60. We now have officially gained access to enter the building of Quasartico Incorporated and be able to trade Mega Shards to purchase Mega Stones, which I was able to do to get the Mega Stones for Lucario, Heracross, and Lopunny. And now that we're on the subject of Mega Stones, the moment I returned to Hotel Z, I was given a Mega Stone by AZ, the Emborite Stone, which means my starter Pokemon can Mega Evolve once it fully evolves. And now that the upcoming matches are about to increase in difficulty, I'm able to evolve most of my fighting types, starting with Pancham to Pangoro with Scraggy in my party, giving me my second Pokemon that's a fighting and dark dual typing. Machop was also able to evolve to Machoke, but not fully evolved just yet, which we'll get to later in the run. And since I brought up the Emborite Stone, my starter can finally evolve at level 36 into Embor. And upon evolution, Embor learns the powerful fire physical attack Heat Crash. And another starter Pokemon in my fighting type family can finally add the fighting typing next to its grass typing, as at level 36, Quilladin evolves into Chestnut. I nicknamed Chestnut after the glamour, Blake Monroe. Might as well keep the evolutions rolling because at level 39, Scraggy can finally evolve into Scrafty. I nicknamed Scrafty after that rising star in wrestling, Trick Williams. And for my next evolution, Monotype evolves into another Pokemon that can Mega Evolve once I get its Mega Stone, Medicham, which I nicknamed after the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. The next Pokemon in my army to evolve is a Pokemon that will have to wait a little longer before it can have some time in the spotlight. The one I nicknamed Kevin Owens, Barbaracle. Now that my fearsome fighting types have been abundantly upgraded, it was then I learned that my next ZA Royale opponent is Lumiose City's widely popular gaming live streamer, Canari. But before facing her, I had some business to take care of with Team MZ, as we all calmed down 3 more Rogue Mega Evolutions in Camerupt, Slowbro, and Victory Bell, and then I earned yet another Challenger's ticket. After winning the Canari Quiz Whiz contest at the electrical substation, I made my way over to Racine Construction, where I got my first-hand look at Mega Lopunny, a true normal type that gains the fighting typing once it Mega Evolves, as it destroys Terragon's Mega Excadrill with the trio of moves Power-Up Punch, Fire Punch, and Mach Punch. With Terragon now defeated, I can zap myself back into focus as I go up against Canari, a master of electric-type Pokemon. Canari carries a team of 4, and she's going to be the first of several promotion matches in the second half of this run that are equally challenging. Canari's lead Pokemon is Heliolisk, which also doubles as a normal type, which isn't good for Heliolisk considering I'm doing a fighting type run. My first Pokemon for this fight is Lucario, attacking from a distance with a super effective Aura Sphere and Water Pulse before getting the knockout with Ice Punch, losing half of its health after its battle with Heliolisk before getting back to green by eating a citrus berry. Coming out second for Canari is the part ground type Stunfisk, so I brought out Chestnut for her battling debut. Blake Monroe is a defensive beast, getting some health back by first setting up a Leech Seed and attacking with super effective attacks like Giga Drain and Bulldoze before Stunfisk was wiped out from behind by a second Giga Drain from Chestnut. Out third for Canari is Ampharos, so I immediately subbed in LA Knight the Gallade, fiercely attacking with Fire Punch and Ice Punch after Ampharos set up a Cotton Guard. Gallade was taken down to just over half of its health with a Dragon Pulse before getting the KO with Sacred Sword, a solid fighting physical attack that ignores all stat changes of the opposing Pokemon and strikes for the full force damage, which is pretty clever for a base 90 power attack. The final Pokemon for Canari is Electros, and my chosen closer for this fight is Embor, which I immediately Mega Evolved right before Canari Mega Evolves her precious partner. In a battle between 2 of Unova region's finest, Embor proved who the true GOAT of the Unova region is. After 1 Power-Up Punch, a +1 Dig attack finished off Electros for the win. My fearsome fighters continue to dominate Lumiose City, but greater challenges lie ahead. I will enjoy the fact that I now rise up in the rankings to rank E. My latest triumph in the ZA Royale caused Canari to nearly go over the edge in a tirade live on her own stream. Now a rank higher, my future promotion matches will ratchet up in difficulty as I pacify 3 more Rogue Megas in Beedrill, Banette, and Hawlucha, the latter of which gives me a valuable gem in the Hawlucha Nightstone. Now one of my fearsome fighters can finally Mega Evolve, as my next promotion match is against the Fist of Justice leader Ivor, giving me the perfect opportunity to prove once and for all who the strongest fighter in all of Lumiose City truly is. After earning a challenger's ticket, I made haste over to the Justice Dojo, as did Ivor. But the battle will have to wait, as Ivor's sister Gwen is suddenly missing. So along with Ivor, I headed up to the Clawitzer Fountain with Detective Emma. And it sure helps that Lopunny can learn Ice Beam, giving us access to Lumiose Sewers, where Gwen was found, and she promptly challenged me to battle, as she carries a team of ghost types, a type that fighting types can't even touch. But fortunately, I have two fighting types that also happen to share the dark typing, as Pangoro easily wipes out Gwen's first Pokemon, Banette. I then use Scrafty to take out her next Pokemon, Gourgeist. Then it was Mega Lopunny time, as the Prodigy was able to defeat Gwen's Ace Mega Chandelure with a balanced arsenal of attacks, scoring the KO with Thunder Punch. I can finally return to the Justice Dojo to have my promotion match against Ivor, who has a team of fighting types, 3 of which I have caught already, which is why I'm going with a different set of fighters to combat his team. And his first Pokemon is his very own Heracross. I chose to lead things off with my starter, Ivor, which I nicknamed after the ruler Obafemi. The combination of Heat Crash and Fire Punch took Heracross out. And the next Pokemon Ivor brought in is his very own Medicham, as I decided to bring in Lucario for the next part of the fight. Lucario got hit super effectively by Rock Smash, but after a Calm Mind setup, the combination of Shadow Ball and Psychic did Medicham in. Lucario had a Citrus Berry equipped to get some HP back before leveling Medicham with Psychic. The third Pokemon for Ivor is Machamp, who sets up its attack and defense the moment it enters by using Bulk Up, the TM Ivor gives you after you beat him. Gallade finished off Machamp with the 4 selected moves Shadow Claw, Psycho Cut, and Aerial Ace before getting the KO with Sacred Sword, which ignored the Bulk Up boost. Ivor's last Pokemon is his Ace Phalanx, which is about to Mega Evolve, as I'm about to do the same, revealing my favorite of the new Mega Evolutions, Hawlucha. Ivor's Phalanx loves to get the upper hand right after it Mega Evolves by boosting its own stats by using No Retreat, giving Phalanx an Omni Boost to all 5 of its stats. Hawlucha struck for massive damage with its signature attack Flying Press, and as Phalanx went for Rock Slide, Hawlucha knew it was time to bounce. Ivor had the home field advantage, but I am officially crowned the strongest fighting type user in all of Lumiose City, as my rank in the ZA Royale climbs up another rung to rank D. It's time to press onward to the next challenge. I woke up to the worst possible news after defeating Ivor, once Lita entered Hotel Z to tell Naveen and myself that Tawny, so eager to make a new promo video for Hotel Z, borrowed a large sum of $100,000 from the notorious Rust Syndicate. So Lita and I had to pay a visit to the Rust Syndicate office in the hopes of bailing Tawny out from such a large loan. But along the way, I went to Stone Emporium and purchased a Mega Stone for Medicham. Before entering the office, we were greeted by Felipe, the next headman in charge, as he carries a team of steel types, one of which is not Lucario, who two-shot Felipe's first Pokemon Steelix with the combination of Aura Sphere and Psychic. I left the rest of the fight up to Ivor, as the ruler has arrived, destroying Scizor in one hit with a Fire Punch. Then after Mega Evolving, Ivor survived a super effective Drill Run and Air Slash before putting Mega Skarmory down for the count with the combination of Heat Crash and Thunder Punch. Now in the office, we learned through our meeting with Big Boss Corbeau that Tawny's goodwill in wanting to make a new video for Hotel Z has led to her, after borrowing all that money, racking up a full $1 million in interest. Not even applying to be a contestant on Wheel of Fortune can help us now, as we calm down 3 more Rogue Mega Evolutions in Mawile, Barbaracle, and Ampharos. The middle of the 3 gave me another crucial Mega Stone in the form of the Barbaracle Light Stone. I quickly collected another challenger's ticket after defeating another series of trainers in the ZA Royale. After doing free labor for the Rust Syndicate alongside the rest of Team MZ, I returned to the office on my own to meet up with Corbeau. It was there in that meeting that I just so happened to find out that he is my next opponent in the ZA Royale. Corbeau carries a strong team of 4 Pokémon, 3 of which are poison types, a type that fighting types aren't very effective against. However, poison types cannot hit fighting types super effectively. But Corbeau does have a trump card on his team, and that's the Pokemon I'm worried about the most. We'll get to that in a moment as Corbeau leads off with Arbok. For the second straight promotion match, I led off with Ivor, who was able to hit super effectively with Dig, even though Arbok still managed to land Toxic, badly poisoning Ivor before Arbok went down on Ivor's next attack being Earthquake. And now for Corbeau's secret weapon, Gyarados, who can hit fighting types super effectively by going high into the air with Bounce, but as it soared airborne, before it could go fully up into the sky, Gallade was able to sneak in a 4 times effective Thunder Punch for the one-hit KO. Gallade, also being a Psychic type, has the type advantage against Corbeau's third Pokemon Roserade, but I swapped in Hawlucha instead, defeating Roserade with the combination of Flying, Press, and Bounce. The same combination of moves that I used to beat Ivor's Mega Phalanx. Corbeau is down to his ace Pokemon Scolipede, which gave me the chance to reveal my secret weapon in Barbaracle, a natural rock and water type, but once it Mega Evolves, it becomes a rock fighting type. And considering Mega Scolipede is also a bug type, I specifically had Mega Barbaracle prepared for this battle alone, doing some chip damage with Rock Blast as Scolipede protected itself, before using the combination of Stone Edge and Night Slash to get the KO after shaking off Scolipede's super effective Earthquake. Scolipede also had Gunk Shot and X-Scissor, 2 moves Barbaracle resist. Now I officially outrank the boss as I take up another step up in class. My rank jumps up to C. Corbeau ended up forgiving Tawny's loan. Now Team MZ and I can move on to bigger and better things. For me, it's the unlocking of Wild Zone 16 where I'm able to catch my final fighting encounter for the run, Phalanx. And after defeating Corbeau, more Megastones are unlocked at Quasarticle Inc., and I was able to purchase 2 Megastones for both Phalanx and Gallade, the latter of which I was able to show off in back-to-back friendly battles against my fellow Team MZ members, excluding Tawny. Mega Gallade effortlessly sliced through the defenses of Lita's ace Pokemon Staryu, which has the ability of Mega Evolving. Then against Naveen, I learned by battling him a second time that his number 1 partner, Scrafty, and I have one of my own of course, can also Mega Evolve. But Naveen's Mega Scrafty was no match for my Mega Heracross. That early morning battle worked us up an appetite, so we all headed to one of the Nouveau Cafe trucks to have some coffee, where we got a surprise guest from the Society of Battle Connoisseurs. Liban cordially invited myself and Tawny to compete in an exclusive battle tournament that is being held at Hotel Richissime. So, Tawny and I decided to take a look and see what that was all about. Once we arrived at the hotel, we were shocked to learn some familiar faces were there like Canari and Gwen, before we were graced by the presence of Lady Jacinthe, the owner of Hotel Richissime and the root of all my fearsome fighting type Pokemon's problems, considering Jacinthe is a skilled user of fairy types. But right as the tournament was about to begin, Vinnie called Tawny to inform her and myself that we need to pacify 3 more Rogue Mega Evolutions in Frostlass, Altaria, and Venusaur. Figuring that something might potentially jump off once I returned to Hotel Z, I went out and got myself another Challenger's ticket. And the second I returned, I was right. As Tawny, Lita, Naveen, and myself were trapped against our will by a stupid-looking purple-colored battle zone created by the SBC. In order for me and my buddies to escape the even more ridiculously named Jacinthe Zone, I had to battle my way through 3 trainers. The first 2 SBC socialites were of no issue, but the third battle as against Jacinthe's right-hand lady, Liban, a terrifying tamer of dragons, especially with her first Pokemon, Noivern, also being a flying type. But you know what that means. Noivern is 4 times weak to ice, as it gets dropped by 1 hit, courtesy of Gallade's quad-effective Ice Punch. I then pivot switch to Lucario, destroying Tyrantrum with a combination of Dragon Pulse and another Ice Punch. But things could potentially take a turn for the worse, as Liban's third Pokemon is the Sinnoh region pseudo-legendary Garchomp. After 1 Swords Dance boost, Garchomp was way too powerful for Hawlucha, who managed to get a paralysis with Bounce before going down to Garchomp's +1 Iron Head. But Hawlucha's sacrifice was a worthy one, as it allowed for Ivor to pick up the scraps to get the KO with Fire Punch. I then brought in Medicham, Mega Evolving it for the first time, before facing off against Liban's ace Pokemon Dragalge, who also got a new Mega Evolution. Dragalge protected itself from the Ice Punch, but as it was about to charge up a Sludge Bomb, Medicham delivers a 1-hit knockout with a super effective Zen Headbutt. Liban was a tough nut to crack, but once I defeated her, I learned in my ZA Royale app that I have to go back to Hotel Richisme anyway, because my next promotion match is against Jacinthe. Tanya and I returned to Hotel Richisme and took part in Jacinthe's tournament, and the fix was obviously in, considering Jacinthe deemed herself to be the #1 seed and booked herself a spot in the finals of this tournament. But this was nothing new for me, as I was able to defeat Canari, Ivor, and Corbeau once again. And now nothing was stopping me from facing Jacinthe. Oh wait, Zygarde's in the house. After the legendary's 50% form got wrecked, it was battle time. Jacinthe has the advantage not only being in her own hotel, she also has the type advantage. But I had a great plan of strategy in mind for her entire team of 5 Pokemon. And once her scintillating battle music hits, I put that strategy into motion against Jacinthe's first Pokemon, Carbink, a fairy and rock dual typing that loves to apply stealth rocks the moment it enters. That's why I had Chestnut waited out a bit, and then used Spiky Shield to avoid being hit by a super effective Moonblast. Carbink then gets absolutely squashed by a super effective Wood Hammer. And since Jacinthe's second Pokemon Mawile has both Play Rough and Fire Fang, I chose to fight fire with fire by bringing in Ivor, crushing Mawile with a super effective Heat Crash, considering Mawile is also a Steel type. With Ivor on the field, that forces Jacinthe to summon in Gardevoir next. So I summoned in the better half of the 2 Ralts final evolutions, as Gallade puts Gardevoir in its place with a Shadow Claw X Scissor combination. Gallade struck hard and fast, preventing Jacinthe from calling on Gardevoir to nail Gallade with a super effective Moonblast. Jacinthe's 4th Pokemon is the Rock and Ice type Fossil Aurorus, so I gave Hawlucha a shot at Vindication after a bad taste came in its mouth from being knocked out by Liban's Garchomp. Hawlucha won this war of attrition, knocking out Aurorus with a quad effective Flying Press. Now for the final showdown of this promotion match, as Jacinthe's final Pokemon is her ace, Clefable. And I decided to bring out my pride and joy, Lucario, giving everyone a first-hand look inside Hotel Richisme at my favorite fighting-type Mega Evolution. Then, as elegant as she can be, Jacinthe shows off her Mega Evolution, as Clefable is now a Fairy and Flying dual typing. I had Lucario use Flash Cannon to have Clefable protect against it. Get in Clefable's face with a Bullet Punch, then delivering the final blow with a super effective Ice Punch. My fearsome fighters are flawless in performance and victorious, as I get to leave Hotel Richisme as a rank B trainer. Nearing the finish line, I headed to Quasarticle Inc. to purchase the Megastone for Scrafty, then pacified the last 3 Rogue Megas in Tyranitar, Dragonite, and Starmie before collecting the final Challenger's ticket. Then there was one evolution I needed to make, as I got great help from one of my Discord friends, Leanna Bunny, as after this touch trade, my Machoke can finally gain a second set of arms and become Machamp. Now all 13 of my fighting type encounters are present and accounted for. As I learned once I returned to Hotel Z that my next opponent in the Zia Royale is Grisham, a man shrouded in mystery. With the help of Detective Emma and even Professor Mabel, I found out that Grisham was a former member of Team Flare. In order for my fighting types to be more than game ready, I purchased 10 Adamant Mints, which I fed every single fighting type in my roster except for Lucario, Chestnut, and Phalanx, which was adamant natured already when I caught it in Wild Zone 16. I then headed to Lysander Cafe when Grisham told me that he's the boss of Team Flare Nouveau. Then I was immediately challenged into battle by an angry Grizel, as her balanced team of 5 got swept faster than Team Rated RKO in the 2006 Survivor Series, with Mega Lopunny delivering the final insult to injury, caving in the face of Grizel's Ace Mega Pyroar with one powerful dynamic punch. After a long recap of the story of Pokemon X and Y, including a history lesson of AZ's treacherous past, it was time to finally stand toe-to-toe against Grisham, because the winner of this promotion match will get the distinction of being called the highest-ranked trainer in all of Lumiose City. This is the first 6-on-6 full battle in the base game of Pokemon Legends ZA, and Grisham has an outstanding caliber of Pokemon on his side, but half of them are weak to fighting-type attacks. However, 3 of Grisham's Pokemon includes 2 pseudo-legendaries and the most popular Pokemon of all time as his ace. His first Pokemon, Pangoro, is none of those 3. I started things off with Embor, using Will-O-Wisp to force Pangoro to use Protect. Then Pangoro gets absolutely bodied in one shot, compliments of Embor's super effective close combat. Grisham's second Pokemon is the Psychic and Dark Dual typing Malamar. Even though Heracross is weak to Psychic attacks, Heracross is the perfect Pokemon to finish Malamar off with a quad-effective Mega Horn. The third Pokemon for Grisham is Pyroar, so I brought out Gallade wearing the Assault Vest to take any special attacks well from Pyroar before it gets dropped by another close combat. Now for the frightening 3 I was referring to on Grisham's team, starting with Salamence. I had Lucario hold a Shuca Berry to take Salamence's Earthquake down to just under half, before finishing off Salamence with a Dragon Pulse Ice Punch combination, leaving with 35 HP as I swapped out in favor of Chestnut to deal with Tyranitar next. A clutch Spiky Shield at the start prevented an Ice Punch from landing. Then Chestnut earned another KO for my fearsome fighters with, you guessed it, another close combat. And for one final appearance in this fighting-only run, I brought out Barbaracle, ready to let loose and Mega Evolve against the ace Pokemon of Grisham, one of the Kanto region's greatest gifts, Charizard, as it Mega Evolves into Mega Charizard X to get rid of its 4 times weakness to Rock-type moves, as it's now a Fire and Dragon dual typing. However, Stone Edge is still super effective, as is the final move I used for Mega Barbaracle to get the victory over Grisham, Dragon Claw, as down goes Mega Charizard X, and up goes my ranking for the final time, as I get officially promoted to Rank A. Returning to Hotel Z, it was once again celebration time with Team MZ to celebrate my latest accomplishment, which was also an accomplishment for Tawny as she got promoted to Rank A as well. The celebration was short-lived, as Team MZ and I could not get a good night's rest. Neither could anyone else in Lumiose City, thanks to a loud explosion that erupted from Prism Tower that is now saturated in Rogue Mega Evolution energy. It was time for my friends and I to take one final stand, not only for the atonement of AZ, but to protect the entire Lumiose City, saving the entire Kalos region at large, as we made our way down to Centrico Plaza and met up with Vinnie. Once getting there, I was challenged from out of the blue by Tawny for not only the right to be the one to Mega Evolve Eternal Flower Floette, but to determine who is the strongest A-ranked trainer between the two of us. And being the prized fighter that I am, I immediately obliged, it was time to throw down, and my fearsome fighting type Pokemon are out to make one final statement. Tawny's first Pokemon is a female Meowstic that loves to set up both a reflect and a light screen to further boost the defenses of her team, which is why I chose to lead things off with Jade Cargill the Pangoro, setting up its attack and defense immediately with Bulk Up, giving Meowstic a chance to set up both screens. Then I had Pangoro shatter both of them with Brick Break and prove Meowstic cannot get it done in crunch time. Tawny's second Pokemon is the Johto Grass Starter Meganium that threatens Pangoro with Dazzling Gleam, but it loves to use Leech Seed on the first turn, which is why I timed my sub-in of Embor perfectly. Then the ruler absolutely smokes Meganium after one power-up punch boost with a devastating Flare Blitz. Tawny's third Pokemon is Goodra that loves to poison opposing Pokemon with Toxic once it comes in. That's why I brought in a Lumberry holding Machamp to cure itself, then protect itself from Goodra's Draco Meteor before knocking out the Kalisuda Legendary with a +1 Ice Punch. And speaking of ice, that's the typing of Tawny's fourth Pokemon, Avalugg. So I brought in the Rock, my beloved Lucario, forcing Avalugg to protect itself from Flash Cannon before it gets annihilated by Lucario's patented Aura Sphere. Tawny's penultimate Pokemon is a solid special attacker, Manectric. That's why I swapped in LA Knight, the awesome Gallade, still wearing an assault vest, knocking out Manectric with the combination of Psycho Cut and a super effective Earthquake. This final fight has started to become lopsided, but Tawny still has an ace in the hole in the Johto Water Starter for Alligator, that once Mega Evolved, it also adds the secondary Dragon typing. And right before Feraligatr was about to use Breaking Swipe, I Mega Evolved Roxanne Perez the Lopunny. After lowering Feraligatr's attack stat by turning on the Charm, the Pop Rocks combination of Power Up Punch and Play Rough set up Lopunny for the win, sealing Feraligatr's fate with Draining Kiss. A flawless victory for my fearsome fighters, giving me the right to call myself the strongest Mega Evolution trainer in all of Lumiose City, as I convincingly defeat the leader of Team MZ. After Tawny and I fist bump, I relied on the services of Mega Heracross, Mega Lucario, and Mega Embor to take down all three phases of Hyper Rogue and Floette that had one final Light of Ruin attack left in it, before I called upon the unbridled power of Mega Zygarde and its signature attack, Nihil Light, intercepting Floette's last shot that fell from the sky, protecting all of the Kalos region. And that is how I managed to beat all of Pokemon Legends ZA using only fighting types. To all of you who took the time out and wanted to view this from the beginning to the end and enjoyed the experience along with me, I sincerely thank you. If you love content like this, be sure to leave a like, and if you are a newcomer, please consider clicking the subscribe button if you want to see more, because every subscription tells me that I'm doing something right and will further inspire me to make even more gaming content. Until next time, take care, God bless you all, and keep on shining.